The Great American Grocery Collapse, why prices aren't dropping, but it seems like your money is not going far enough. Can you relate? And if you can, hit like and subscribe because this message needs to be out to a ton of people, and you're part of the network that makes this channel happen. We're shooting for 500 subscribers here by the end of June, and that's why your thoughts really do matter. Your subscribes really do matter. And of course, you help me feed Charlie in the meantime. Let's continue. So the president says inflation is down. The media says inflation is down, but I don't know if I'm buying it. The media says all types of stuff and they give us information overload. But why does a bag of groceries still cost over $100? This is the real story behind America's broken food system. And if you can relate and you're not getting enough in your grocery cart, or it's costing you twice what it used to cost, hit like, because it's not because you like it, it's because we're just talking about basic awareness here. Inflation lies because reality tells us the truth, and the fact is that CPI data versus what real people pay at the store, that's the real story the media should be following, but rarely do. They spit numbers at us from Wall Street and they say that everything's fine, but many consumers don't feel that anything's really fine after all. There are hidden costs going on right before our eyes. Can you say shrinkflation, for instance? It's real. And those chips that I saw on the shelf, 2 years ago, are now about half the size and really about 3/4 of the money. So these are the things that we're talking about. Packaging tricks about increasing the size of cereal boxes and eventually trying to find the right size box that people are willing to pay their outrageous prices on and not have that much time on the shelf. That's real as well. But it's deeper than that. There are supply chain issues that are very real and they're happening right before our eyes as well. But maybe you ask yourself the question, well, who the heck is profiting while families suffer? Is anybody suffering, or are these companies actually part of the victim here in this story? That's a great question to ask. So what comes next? Grocery store closures, those are happening. And I know it sounds really crazy, but there's mergers that are taking place and there's different types of food deserts that are out there. And I know it sounds strange, but there's certain types of food that aren't hitting the shelf anymore. Government food benefit changes, and I find it interesting because more and more stories are being paid attention to is if there's a government supplement for food, what kind of foods these people that are on government food stamps are actually able to purchase. For instance, no more pop, no more junk food, only nutritious foods. That's something to take into consideration. And maybe you ask yourself the most basic question: how did these gifts from the government, these food stamps, ever become able to buy pop and junk food? And that's what happens when big business gets in the pockets of people in Congress. They manipulate and game the system for their own benefit. Trust me, it's not for the benefit of the poor folks that are on these food stamps, right? But lest I digress. I want you to be super aware that there is a second wave of food inflation coming. I think that there is. And I want us to be aware of what we can do on this channel to help prepare for it. Me personally, I started my own tomato plants, my own pepper plants, and my own carrots. They're not going to get me far, but mentally, it's my way of fighting back just a little bit against the system. So of course, this channel is never one of doom and gloom. We will not peddle fear on this channel. What we do is try to understand what happens on Main Street because of what Wall Street and what DC often dictates. And the fact is that there are things that we can do right now, and stocking smart staple foods is a great place to start. You can find farmers out there, yes, that will sell you their product, and you can cut out the middleman. I've done this before. My father has done this before. And you can get an entire side of beef or a quarter of a cow put into your freezer and you can pick away at it. So that's something to take into consideration. Also, There are buying cycles where it's time to go out and buy and maybe freeze things. Always consider local producers because they seem to be the ones that really are on the ball and quite often are the people who are going to drive a bargain with you, and your money really does matter to them. Beyond that, we can budget survival tactics in a broken system because the bottom line is you can be very, very careful and you can walk away from certain purchases because the bottom line is every single day, ladies and gentlemen, you vote with your wallet. And when you go to the grocery store, you are voting with your wallet as well. And remember, even if you're using a credit card like most of us do, the fact is, it took you a long time to get that money together, and that bill that you pay for that item is going to become due. Make sure you're making reasonable, thoughtful purchases and not just throwing your money away on somebody else's idea of what a price should be for a product. Finally, this isn't just economic, it's really kind of personal, and I see it kind of almost like a personal battle every single time I go to the store. I play a game with the ladies at the checkout line, and I always play the game of over and under because mentally I have a price in mind of what my groceries just cost. And of course, I get to use my savings code that's supposed to drive big savings every time I go to the grocery store. And sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. It's a bit of a game, but it's also a challenge to me to make sure I'm staying right around the price I was planning on spending at the grocery store that day. So if you benefited from today, once again, hit like and hit subscribe. Please share this video with others because the fact is, we're all in this together. Your comments matter, and if you have some kind of a hack, some kind of a secret formula when you're going shopping these days, or a place you're going shopping, an experience you have shopping, please leave it in comments. It really matters a ton because we're all fighting the same battle, and that battle is the battle between our ears. Stay healthy, folks. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.